All right, guys. We just wrapped UFC 288 from Newark, New Jersey, and Aljamain Sterling retains his championship over Henry Cejudo. You know, coming into this fight, there were a lot of questions. How would Aljamain approach Henry Cejudo? How would Aljamain try and score takedowns against Henry Cejudo? Going into this fight, Henry Cejudo had 93% takedown defense. Aljamain Sterling was able to secure multiple takedowns, and he did it by using MMA wrestling. He did it by pushing Cejudo against the fence, using his height and his length in order to take Cejudo down to the ground. And when he got him to the ground, it was very evident that Aljamain Sterling could control him for extended periods of time in order to put rounds in the bag. You know, when they walked to the center of the octagon, I felt pretty certain that Aljamain had done enough to win. 48-47, 48-47, 48-47 spoke to how competitive and how close this fight was. I thought I gave round 1 to Aljamain Sterling. I gave round 2 to Henry Cejudo. I gave round 3 to Aljo, round 4 to Aljo, and I gave round 5 to Henry Cejudo. Very competitive fight, and I wouldn't have been disappointed if it went the opposite direction because it was that close a fight. It was that competitive a fight. Right after the fight, Henry says, if I'm not first, I'm last. If I'm not fighting for championships, I may as well be done. That is a mindset of a guy that has chased championships his entire life. So I don't really blame him. I don't really believe that he is wrong in saying that. And I don't really think for a second that when he goes home and he takes some time to think about it, talks to his wife like he said he would, the decision is going to change. He's going to walk away. I said this on the weigh-in show yesterday. I think if he didn't win this fight, it would be the end of Henry Cejudo inside the octagon. This is a guy that only thinks championship. And if there is no championship to be had, I don't think he'll do it. But he can go out with his head held high because he made a great account of himself in a very, very difficult situation. A guy that hadn't fought for 3 years comes back and fights the world champion to a split decision where a lot of people will agree that he won the fight. But ultimately the night belonged to Aljamain Sterling. Guys, he got it done, and then immediately he moves on to what's next. That's Sean O'Malley. I love this fight. I love their interaction, and I also love that this for Aljo could be the biggest fight that he has in terms of having a partner that's going to draw eyes in, especially eyes that don't generally watch the UFC unless Sean O'Malley is fighting. They got a little bit of tension going on in there as O'Malley goes in there. He's got the red Michael Jackson looking jacket on. Merab Dvalishvili takes the jacket, jumps on top of the octagon, and starts to celebrate with it. As he's on top of the octagon, O'Malley goes back towards him like he wants to fight him. So then all hell breaks loose. Kind of reminds me of when Khabib and them got into that fight. It reminds me of Nate Diaz and Nick Diaz back in the day with Jake Shields and Mayhem Miller, all the way back in Strikeforce. I thought it was going to get out of control. UFC security took care of it. They ended up taking Merab's jacket, taking the jacket back from Merab, giving it back to Sean O'Malley to where everything kind of settled down and nothing really went crazy. But watching O'Malley in there with Aljamain, and notice how tall he is and how big he is. He may be the only bantamweight in the world that is bigger than Aljamain Sterling. And because of that, I think it'll make the fight even more intriguing. Guys, stop booing Aljamain. Stop booing Aljamain Sterling. Like, give this man his respect. This dude is doing everything you want as a champion. He's active. He fights the best guys that they put in front of him. He wins fights. He carries himself in the way of a champion. It's time to stop booing Aljamain Sterling. It sucks that this happens time and time again. And in Newark, New Jersey, which is very close to New York, Aljo's getting booed. It really made no sense. I don't know what this man has to do in order to garner your respect. If tonight wasn't enough, you're just never going to be satisfied. I have no more voice. That's usually the tell whenever the fights are good. Co-main event, Belal Muhammad gets it done against Gilbert Burns. God, that was a bad one to watch because Gilbert Burns got hurt early. So it makes it to where that becomes a story, when in reality, we got to give credit to Belal Muhammad because he came in so ready to fight. He was so well prepared that he fought like he had a full training camp. He didn't get tired. He didn't run out of gas. He dictated and controlled. But you just feel like you didn't get the best Gilbert Burns because we didn't. He hurt his shoulder in the very first round, trying to secure a takedown, and was essentially a one-handed fighter for 4 rounds. And Belal Muhammad took advantage of it. Fought beautifully, never stopped his movement, was in and out, was doing exactly what he needed to do in order to get the job done. It was a beautiful performance by Belal Muhammad, and one that should earn him a championship opportunity after Colby Covington fights Leon Edwards. But if I know Belal Muhammad, he won't want to wait that long in order to get that championship opportunity. But tonight, Belal Muhammad came in, he earned his championship, and he's ultimately going to benefit from what was the best performance and the biggest spot of his career. Guys, before we get to the rest of the card, you know we got to pay some bills. So today's video is brought to you by the Game Time app. The Game Time app is your leader in last-minute ticket purchases from UFC to basketball, football, concerts, comedy shows. All you got to do is use the Game Time app. Use that app, use my promo code DCTV, and we'll give you $20 off of your first purchase. It don't matter where you live, guys. It does not matter where you are. There's always something to do, and use the Game Time app to save yourself some money. So go, download the Game Time app right now. Use the promo code DCTV for $20 off of your first purchase. Now we get back to UFC 288. Yan Xiaoan earned herself a championship opportunity by knocking out Jessica Andrade. Nobody knocks out Jessica Andrade. That's what Jessica Andrade does to the strawweight division. She knocked her out. Beautiful right hand. This excites me because if she fights Zhang Weili for the championship in China, it will be one of the biggest events the UFC has ever put on. Fight for the UFC strawweight championship. Amazing performance by Yan Xiaoan. She looked crisp and sharp from the very moment the fight started. Movsar Evloev, still undefeated, was in a lot of trouble from Diego Lopez, a guy we will be seeing down the line. But for Evloev, continues his trek up the UFC featherweight division. Charles Jourdain, dude, Kron Gracie, if that wasn't enough to show guys you can't be a specialist anymore, I don't know what's going to do it for you. You've got to be much better than what Kron Gracie was tonight if he ever wants to win in the octagon again. And that's off to Charles for going out there and doing what he needed to do in a situation where he was supposed to shine. Matt Favola knocks out Drew Dober. Nasty. Kennedy Nzechukwu chokes out Devin Clark, puts him to sleep. Guys, Parker Porter got a big victory over Braxton Smith. Braxton Smith got tired in about 45 seconds. I have never seen anything like it. Braxton Smith's a very talented kid, but he needs a lot of work if he's going to compete at this level. But I think another guy that I was very impressed with was Ikram Aliskerov, the 185-pound kid that made his debut tonight against Phil Hawes. Nasty knockout with the 1-2. A guy that's been around for a long time, but is finally in the big show. This kid has a bright future. Guys, all in all, UFC 288 was a beautiful performances, was filled with beautiful performances. Crowd was hot all night long in Newark, New Jersey, and shows why the UFC is the worldwide leader. I thank you guys for supporting me. All the check-ins this week. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. Until next time, guys, I'm going to rest my voice. I'm supposed to do some voice work tomorrow. I have no idea how I'm going to pull this off. like, subscribe. Tell your friend to tell a friend that DC has a YouTube channel, and I'm dropping content like this. So live from Newark, your boy DC's out. Peace.